Hola, amigos, and welcome to the CC podcast. And here we shall be having candid conversations about our day to day lives. And also, this podcast will serve as a safe haven to all the millennials and Gen Z, and to let you know that all the struggles that you are going through or have gone through, some of us have experienced and conquered, and that just calls to show you that you are not alone. So sit back, relax, because we are about to have one hell of a ride here at the CC podcast. And as you all know, here on the CC podcast, we normally have the karaoke segment. And today, for our karaoke song, we have Marvin Gaye, Sexual Healing. You will understand why sexual healing, okay, when the episode starts. So, yeah, let's get right into it. Get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Baby, I'm hot just like an oven. I need some loving. And baby, I can't hold it much longer. I'm getting stronger and stronger. And when I get that feeling, I want sexual healing. Sexual healing. Oh, baby, makes me feel so fine. Helps to relieve my mind. Sexual healing, baby, is good for me. Healing, something that's good for me. Before I start the conversation for today, I just want to let you know that I am so happy to be back. And if you had noticed that we have been away for a couple of weeks, but now I am back with a bang. And let me just not lie to you, I had missed the mic. I had missed the CC podcast. And it feels really good to be here today. So, yeah, I hope you guys have been well. I hope you guys have been keeping warm in this cold season. But I really, really am enjoying this cold weather. I know someone is going to cringe, like, how? But yeah, this is my kind of weather. I'm so in love with it. If I would be asked, Sizi Taka, the sun to be back. But anyway, we do need it. So, without any further ado, today I'm going to jump straight into the topic of the day. And whatever it is I'm talking about today, it's not something new. It's something I had spoken about earlier on in our earlier topics. And if you do remember, season 2, we spoke about boundaries. And today I am elaborating, or I'm speaking more about some of those boundaries, which is sexual boundaries. Remember that time we had mentioned 5 boundaries, which is the physical boundary, sexual boundary, intellectual boundary, emotional boundary, and the financial boundaries. So today I'm going to talk about the sexual boundaries. All right. So I'm going to start with the definition. A sexual boundary is how far we are willing to take what we do sexually or physically. All right. And it is fine and healthy to inquire about a partner's sexual limits and desires so as not to cross those boundaries. And these boundaries that we're talking about explicit boundaries and implicit boundaries. And when we're talking about explicit boundaries, we're talking about those boundaries that we have mentioned, those boundaries that we have stated, those boundaries that we have communicated with our partners or the people who are around us. Those are the ones that I'm talking about. The implicit boundaries are those boundaries that we normally assume. You know, many of the times when we normally say that, this person touched me in this kind of way, or this person did this to me, I thought it was common sense. But at the back of this person's mind, it is something that is normal, or it is something that he's used to doing. So to him or her, she didn't feel that it was something that was out of line. So these were just boundaries that you just assume for yourself without any communicating. And I think, if I'm not wrong, many of the times we normally set implicit boundaries. The times that we set explicit boundaries with our partners or people we are having any sexual connection with, we rarely have this boundaries with these people. On that, I want to jump right into how we get to set these sexual boundaries and how we can be able to let them stick and let this person know and let this person understand that this is how I want things to be done and this is what I want you to understand about how I feel when it comes to us being sexual with each other. I hope tuko pamoja. The number one step that I feel we need to be very, very, very cautious about is starting by setting those boundaries. Have them in your mind, state them, whatever it is that you want. If, for example, I'm just giving an example, you're not about that choking life, you tell this person, oh, by the way, me choking is out of line. Me choking is out of question. I am not about that life. So please, we're not going to do this. The other thing about setting these sexual boundaries that we're talking about today is reaffirming. Reaffirming is reminding this person, okay? Constantly remind someone, because sometimes we might overstep. Sometimes I don't know how we human beings are, but we might find ourselves, you had communicated whatever your boundaries are, but then this person feels that whatever you are not sure about what you are saying, or sometimes they feel like they might change your mind. And yes, I'm not going to lie, boundaries do change with time. I'm not going to say that just because you have said, oh, I don't want you to choke me, doesn't mean that you will never change. Maybe someone will try it on you and you're like, it's not as bad as I thought. And you roll it out as some of the things that you wouldn't want to be done to you. But then, yeah. So you reaffirming that these are the things that I don't want you to be doing to me is very, very important, because you will always and constantly remind this person that you are not okay with some of these things that they are doing, and you are insisting on you not wanting to do them, okay? The other thing is, when you set your boundaries, never feel guilty that you have set your boundaries, because you setting your boundaries is a way of protecting yourself. Let me put it like that. Is a way of protecting yourself, and you do not have to feel guilty because, oh, this person wants me to do this for him, or he likes it when a chick or a dude does this to her or him. So you're feeling guilty because to you feel uncomfortable. No. Do not feel if it makes you feel uncomfortable, well, then that's where you draw the line. You don't need to continue doing it, and then at the end of the day you're like, I really didn't like the way this person did to me. It made me feel so uncomfortable. I don't even think I want to be a part of this person's. I don't want to be sexual again with this person. But this happened to you simply because you were not bold enough to come out and tell him, no, this is not what I want. I don't want to be a part of this. It doesn't make me feel comfortable. So if you are okay with it, please, no, with all due respect, actually, please, let's not do it. That is my stand. And I would request you to be respectful and mindful of that. And if this person doesn't feel like whatever it is that you're saying makes sense or it is good enough, well, then these are the kind of people who you don't need in your life, by the way. There are people who you don't need in your life, because someone who does not respect your boundaries is someone who does not respect you. And yes, I understand maybe at some point or at first this person might feel like you're being too much or you're being dramatic, but then later on in life they actually come to see that, oh, by the way, this is actually really good for you because it is making you this kind of a person, which is a healthier version of yourself. So please, you feeling guilty that you are setting boundaries for yourself should never be even something to think about, even a question that you're questioning yourself whether you're doing it right or not, baby girl. Mr. Mans, I'm here to tell you that you are doing justice to yourself, okay? The other thing is, you might set those boundaries, but then again, you keep on justifying yourself. Oh, I'm doing this because, I'm doing this because. Stand firm. You do not need to justify why you're doing whatever it is that you're doing. You do not need to justify to someone why you feel uncomfortable, because you yourself, you're the one who knows how you feel. You yourself, you're the one who knows what you want. So you justifying yourself, it's like you're trying to show this person that there might be room to twist these boundaries of mine, and then we can be able to do whatever it is that you want me to do. But then again, it is something that is uncomfortable to you. So it doesn't even make sense. You setting those boundaries and justifying yourself for setting those boundaries, to me, honestly, it doesn't make sense, because once you set boundaries, yes, you're protecting yourself in as much as you want people to get close to you, but you also want people to know the levels at which they can get close to you. You want people to know the levels at which they can respect you. You just want a healthy sexual relationship that you get pleasure from whatever it is that you're doing, without you feeling uncomfortable or without you feeling like you're compromising too much. So I was talking about setting boundaries, and those were the main things that I came across, and those are the main things that I feel that we should put into practice when we are setting our boundaries. So I want to say something about explicit boundaries. For explicit boundaries, never be afraid to reaffirm someone. The same thing I had said in the beginning of this conversation. Once you have set a boundary, reaffirm it to someone. Make sure that they always remember that, Wangeshi spoke about choking, and she told me that choking was out of line, and it's something that she is not willing to participate in, so I'm going to do it. But remember, even the way you are communicating with someone does really matter. We always say when someone is talking to you or when someone is correcting you, we do that with a lot of love. We do that with a lot of caution. We do that with a lot of kindness, right? I don't know if you remember that when we were having the conversation about communication, but yes. And I love the fact that these things that I talk about, they are always intertwined in one way or another. These conversations that I'm always having, they are intertwined in one way or another. You know, there's a way they'll come and collide, and I love that about it. And I love that about the CC podcast, because we're always talking about things that we are dealing with day to day. So anyway, back to explicit boundaries. So when you're correcting this person or you're reminding this person, do it with assertiveness. Remind them politely. Do it with love, do it with kindness. Because I don't know, sometimes maybe we forget. I don't know if I'm right to tell the people who cross boundaries, but sometimes we are human beings and we do fall astray sometimes, and we find ourselves not doing whatever it is that we're supposed to do. We are also out here to push boundaries, you know, to just see whether, she says she doesn't like choking. Let me try. She might like it. And then later on is when she's going to say, like, it does happen. Right? We set boundaries and then later on we're like, but there it wasn't as bad. Maybe sometimes we even set our boundaries out of fear, right? We've never tried this thing, and the thought of choking, you're like, hey, what if I die? What if this person chokes me too much and then I die? I'm giving an example. Please don't get me wrong. I'm giving an example of choking, because I feel like it is the easiest thing to talk about right now when we're having these sexual boundaries, because I don't want to get so deep into the details, the nitty-gritty. So I think choking is a better thing to talk about. I hope you agree with that. But anyway, as I was saying, sometimes we set our boundaries out of fear, and we don't know. We're just, we're normally scared of the unknown. So you're like, hey, what if this guy chokes me and then I die? And then nitakuwa naambia watu nini? Nitaambia nini watu? Nilikufa juu ya nini? Wakisoma eulogy yangu watasema nilikufa juu ya nini? Oh my God. The thought of it is just it's just cracking me up. Anyway, so it's just crazy. So yeah, so when you're reaffirming someone of the boundaries that you're really, really, really strict about, do it with assertiveness. And coming to talk about the implicit boundaries, I feel like it is a very dangerous thing to do, that we as human beings do. It is very dangerous for us to assume that this person knows what boundaries that you have set for yourself. I don't know if you get me, but I feel like it makes so much sense. If anything, those implicit boundaries that you have, you should turn them, talk about them, so that when someone crosses that line, at least when you are cautioning them about whatever it is that they did, you had already spoken about it. Not someone does something to you, someone chokes you, like you in your mind, you're like, hey, me, someone can't choke me. Me choking is out of question. But you have never told this person. And maybe this person in their previous relationship or whatever, they were used to doing it, and the person who they were with was enjoying it. So at the back of his mind, he's like, oh, so it's not a bad thing. So let me try with this person. He does that or she does that. This person does that, and then you end up being angry over something that you should have said, because you're like, why would you even do that? Now you even kill the vibe. You're like, even get out of my house when you want to kill me. It just causes so much drama, and it causes so much tension that would have been avoided with you communicating about the boundaries that you have, the sexual boundaries that you have with the partner who you're having. I hope we're together. So let's learn to communicate about these things that we don't want to be done to us. Let's learn to communicate about these things that are uncomfortable to us. And if you are open to it, also communicate about it and be like, you know what? I don't think I can do this right now, but can we give it a few months and see how it goes, how I'll feel about it after a few months? Even these boundaries that we're talking about, they don't have to be long-term boundaries. They can be short-term boundaries. Like for now, we've just gotten to know each other. So the much we can do right now is just kiss. You can touch me. You can come over to my place. We can do nothing. Like the much you can do right now is just kissing me. Right? And that is just something that you want for yourself, because you feel like you're not yet in that place where you can invite over this person to your place. And we all know that sometimes, or rather, many of the times when someone comes over to your place, sometimes it will go down. Right? And since you don't want that to happen, so you communicate prior, you communicate in due time. Like for now, I'm just getting to know you. It's been 3 months since I knew you. And I don't feel comfortable you coming over to my place, or I don't feel comfortable me coming over to your place. I don't feel comfortable with you touching me. I don't feel comfortable with you doing whatever it is that you're doing. The much we can do is just kissing. And if this person really, really wants something special with you, or this person wants something legit with you, if it's a relationship that you guys are building up, well, then this person will respect that. And if they do not respect that, baby girl, that is a red flag. Baby boy as well, that is a freaking red flag. If someone does not respect your boundaries, because you have a sane mind, for you to stand there or to sit there or to text that and tell this person that this is how you want things to be done, you are saying it with a sober mind. You know what you're talking about. You have sat down, decided about it, and you know what you're talking about. So when this person tries to make you look like you are not sure of what you're saying, well then, those are not people who you need to continue having or building anything with, right? So let us all learn to communicate about the things that we want. It's not going to make you look... sometimes you might say something. Maybe you've met someone who is experienced or more experienced than you are sexually, and maybe they're telling you all these stories. Maybe they're telling you, oh, they're going to do this 1, 2, 3 things about to you. And you're like, oh my God, I don't think I'm ready for all those things that this person is telling me. And at some point you feel like you're being amshamba because this guy knows too much, or this chick knows too much than you do. Please, let me tell you, if there's anything I have learned in this self-discovery journey that I'm in, that I'm still learning myself, is there's no better thing in this life to do than just communicating. However this person is going to take whatever it is that you have said is entirely their problem. If you have said it with assertiveness, you have said it with politeness, you have said it with so much love, you have said it with kindness, even the way you're communicating these things does matter. But I'm telling you this for free. This is something that I have discovered, and this is something that I am embracing. Communicating about your feelings, communicating about the things that are uncomfortable to you, communicating about the things that are disturbing you, communicating about the things that are stressing you out. You have already said it. If you are my problem, well, then I'm going to let you know that you are my problem. So however you take it, that's entirely a you problem. I have already told you, na hiyo imenitoka kwa roho. So never ever at any one point get into a relationship where you feel uncomfortable. Into any sexual relationship that you feel uncomfortable, and you just sit there in the corner thinking that you are Ramshamba because this guy is too experienced, or this chick is too experienced, and you don't know what to say or how to say it. Say it as it is, because I don't think there's any other way you can say it. It is the way it is, in black and white. Iseme. I think a few years ago, I think in 2018, I was in that place where I felt things were moving a little bit too much for me. And I didn't know what to say because I was with someone who was quite experienced in this dating scene and these relationships. Like, this was someone who was very well, he was aware of everything that he was doing. He knew what he wanted. He knew what he needed. But me then, I was just like a young girl at that point, and communicating about these things, I was so scared. Like, sometimes I'd even go to open my mouth to just let him know that 1, 2, 3 things are not sitting well with me. But I go to naenda tu kufungua mdomo and words just disappear. And sometimes I look back at it and I'm like, what was holding me back? You know, because sometimes I usually have so much resentment towards that person because he was, you see the way I'm talking about implicit boundaries. These were things that were in my mind. These were things that I never communicated about. But to him, it was okay because I am not complaining. I am not talking about them. So he thinks I am okay. But deep down in me, I was not okay. Deep down in me, I was suffering. Deep down in me. And please, do not drift your minds and start thinking, it's nothing crazy. It's nothing kinky. Please chill. But I'm just having a general conversation and I'm just trying to let you know that even me, myself, I have been in that situation. And when I'm talking to you about it, is because I now understand how important me talking about whatever it is that was going on then would have been so helpful. And right now that I'm in the healing journey, it would, like, I'd have looked back at it and I'd be like, at least I said it. And like right now, sometimes I just sit down and I'm like, ningemwambia hiyo siku, ningesema hivi. But then it's too late. But I love the fact that I am on the self-discovery journey right now. And I know when to say no. I know when to say yes. And that is purely for me, not for this other person. I want to do this because it is me who wants to do it, not because you want to do it. And that was something that I never knew then. And I was working really hard to pleasing this man who at some point I felt like it was entirely for himself. It wasn't for me. Sometimes I felt like he never put me first, and he never put my thoughts first, and he never put my emotions first. But anyway, I never spoke about it. I never said that these things were uncomfortable. So how would he have known? Vile tunasemanga, he was not an angel. So how would he have known? So right now I know. And I understand the beauty of doing things for yourself, doing things that make me happy, doing things that make me comfortable. And if you feel like you, as my partner, something is not good with you, is not sitting well with you with whatever it is that I'm doing, I am very open to having those conversations and I embrace them because I get to know how to treat you. I get to know how to be around you. I get to know what you like and what you don't like, and vice versa. You get to know how to be with me. You get to know how to love me. And I'm not gonna lie, it is a beautiful space to be in. It is such a peaceful space to be in because you don't have to hide anything. If this is what you want, this is how you want to get down, you have communicated and your partner is okay with it, well, then let it go down the way you want it to go down. So, yeah. I'm gonna finish this conversation with saying, during sex, if it isn't a hell yes, then it's a no. And the reason why I chose to finish with that statement is because I don't know if people are still about this bullshit. I'm going to call it bullshit because to me it's bullshit. With she said no, but nilikuwa naona ni kama anataka. You get that point? If kama alikuwa anataka, angesema yes. But she said no. Why do you feel you need to gaslight the whole situation and be the one to tell her what she thinks? And be the one to feel the way she feels? You get what I'm trying to say? So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to talk to the men only because I know there's some ladies who also like pushing boundaries. There's a lady who doesn't take a no for a no. Like, I want this man and I want him now. Whatever I'm going to do to get him, that's entirely on me. But this nigga has to be mine. But baby girl, if he has said no, he has said no. Mr. Mans, if baby girl has said no, it is a no. Stop gaslighting, saying at oh, I thought it was a maybe or a yes. She said no. If it was a maybe, she would have told you maybe. If it's a yes, she would have said yes. And sometimes that's when you get yourself in very compromising situations of rape or whatever, sexual harassment, because you just didn't take the first answer as a good enough answer. No is a good enough answer as yes and maybe. If she tells you yes, is there any one point that you're going to be like, oh, and start gaslighting also and be like, I think she meant no? There are never, ever, 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 ever scenarios like those ones. If you say yes, ni kaende. If you say no, lazima tu atataka kukupaka mafuta and try to change your mind to a yes. And sometimes maybe you might do that and she agrees or he agrees, but don't do it forcefully. If you are in that position or in that place where someone has told you no and they're still giving you the time to bembeleza them and then she later on says yes, if she has given you the consent, go ahead. If she has not given you that consent, if she has not uttered that yes, bro, sis, just back off. It's never that serious. Yes, si mwanaume mmoja peke yake kwa hii dunia ama yes, you're dem peke yake kwa hii dunia. And I'm sorry for saying that, but there'll be someone out there who's willing to give it up. You will suggest and they'll be like, yeah, hell yes, why not? So stop this gaslighting behavior people have of, she said no, so I think it was a yes. No. And if you find yourself in that situation where you have said a no, reaffirm this person. I said it is a no, and it is a no. I do not want it. I am not interested. When I'm interested, I will holler at you. And at that time, if you'll be interested, well and good. If you will not be interested, it is also fine. It is okay. But for now, it is a no. A very clear no. I am okay. Thank you. Ciao. Adios. Reaffirm it. Reaffirm it. Reaffirm it. Reaffirm it. At least so that when someone tries anything shady, you had proof that you told this person it was a no and you insisted it was a no. So please, when we get into that situation, baby girls, imagine setting these boundaries is not out of the blues. I know it's not easy and it's not smooth, by the way. And I'm not going to say it's a seamless transition. It is not. But we have to teach ourselves and we have to learn how to do these things so as to avoid you being awkward with other people because, oh, this guy was forcing himself on me or this chick was forcing herself onto her. I just told her no, or this guy did this to me and me didn't like it, or this chick did this to me and me didn't like it. So did you tell her you didn't like it? No. Why not? Sikujua vile nitamwambia. Vile tu umetoka tu kuniambia haukuipenda. Iseme tu hivyo. As I said, it is as simple as that. Imagine there's no simpler way to say it. There's no simpler way to set these boundaries. The way they are is the way you're just going to say it. The only thing that you're going to do is say them with assertiveness. Say them with kindness. Say them with love. Set them from a place where it's all love, man. It's all love. Na vile itatoka, sijaisema kwa ubaya. just make those statements, and I feel like things will be seamless. Things are going to be okay. Like when this person gets to be with you, they will know where to draw the line. They will know where you have drawn the line. And if they want to stay, well, then that relationship is going to be very beautiful, because it was founded with boundaries. It was founded with communication, great communication. It was founded with honesty, because that's all this boundaries thing is. It's all to bring about honesty. It's all to bring about peace. It's all to bring about healthy relationships with the people who are in your life. It is also for you and no one else. And I'm gonna finish by saying this, and it's just a repetition of what I said. Do things for you. Do things that make you happy for you. You wanna be with this guy? He has told you he wants to be with you. Be with him because you want to be with him, not because he said he wants to be with you, not because he's fine, not because he has money. But like, babes, please, you don't even know what you're talking about. But I'm like, yes, be with this person because you want to be with this person. Whatever reasons you are with this person is because you are the one who has chosen to be with that person. And trust me, if you go be with people in that mentality, well, then you're just going to be a beautiful human being. Anyway, until next time, ciao, adios. Please make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Spotify, CC_podcast. Also on YouTube is CC_podcast. You can listen in via Anchor. You can also send in your voice notes. Let me know what you think about this specific conversation. Let's converse. Let's talk. You can also follow me on my Instagram page, which is CC_podcast. Let us have this conversation. Let us talk about some of the sexual boundaries that you people have set in your life. If you do have any sexual boundaries that you have set, what are some of the implicit boundaries that also you people set? And I'm gonna say this: ziseme, communicate about them. Don't let your partner assume that this is what you want and this is what you don't want. Say them, okay? Anyway, have a good one. God bless. Ciao. Adios.